welcome back. Sorry, welcome back to our This Is Us review. Our thoughts on this week's episode of This Is Us, titled Memphis, and this was a really, really emotional episode.
We both cried the whole time.
Yeah. Obviously, big spoiler alert if you guys haven't seen the episode. If you guys are watching this video, if you haven't seen the episode, I wouldn't recommend doing that because
I had it spoiled for me, so I don't recommend it.
Yeah. So obviously this episode focuses on Randall and William's relationship because as they drive from Randall's home to where William grew up in Memphis, Tennessee.
Wait, I have a question. If anybody knows where the show is located primarily, please let us know because we can't remember.
Well, because they make the drive from New York all the time, and I think I saw New Jersey license.
Yeah, you're right. They must be close because Kevin. But they made it seem like such a big deal when Kevin moved to New York.
Well, because he lived in L.A.
Well, then why were they all so close to each other all the time? I don't understand.
Well, they weren't close until.
Okay, but Randall. How?
So Randall and
so Kate
Rebecca,
lived in L.A. too.
Yeah, Kate and because she was his assistant. And so they were both in LA, and then
just picked up and moved with Toby to New York.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's all fun.
Yeah, we're sidetracking a bit, but obviously this episode we finally got to see more of William's backstory, basically from life until death. The only gap that there really was in terms of his backstory was his relationship with Jesse. Yeah. Other than that, they touched on pretty much every other important aspect of who William was prior to us, meeting him early on in the flashbacks, as well as meeting him in the present day. So, Amy, what were some of the things that stuck to you and what you liked about this episode?
I like that we met his mom from the very beginning.
Me too.
When we learned literally his life from beginning to end. I thought that was nice. My favorite part was when they were saying goodbye and he said that the best parts of his life were the beginning, the first person and the last person. That
part made me cry the most.
That was my favorite thing that they said in the whole episode. One thing that bothered me, and maybe this is stupid, is that Randall didn't really say anything.
He didn't say I love you or you're my dad.
He didn't say anything
like that. Yeah, obviously he showed emotion and he was.
Yeah, but he didn't really say goodbye. So everybody grieves in their own way. But as far as the script writing, I'm surprised they didn't write something.
Yeah, that was the only. Honestly, that was the only problem I had with the episode. Was that he never. Maybe that's just more of Randall's character. He just didn't want to say goodbye.
He didn't say.
He didn't say
love you
or anything like that. Yeah. But I think just the gesture of them having this trip together and being able to bond. I think that was maybe enough for William to be he got to see kind of who I was and experience some of my life.
Well, like he said to William, you knew you weren't coming home.
Yeah,
he knew that's probably where he was gonna die, and that's what he wanted.
Yeah, which made it even more sad.
I knew I already knew because it was spoiled for me. But had I not known, I think I would have known by the way he was talking to the girls before he left. Mm-hmm. He was saying goodbye. He wasn't just saying I'll see you later.
And plus, starting the episode with him as a baby, he kind of I don't know, because shows them that in the past where they tease something about teasing the beginning. And of course, everything that has a beginning has an end. So.
I'm really surprised they did it though. I thought they were gonna wait until the finale.
Me too. I mean, there's
but I think
two
also
that's
too obvious too.
True.
We all thought they were gonna do it then.
Yeah. Maybe they're saving Jack's death for the finale.
Well, we got that nice preview.
Yeah. It was nice seeing that moment for Jack and Randall in the flashbacks too for that brief second when they were talking about Jack holding Randall's face as he's having his.
That was my favorite thing actually.
Oh, and
when Randall held him and did it. It took me a second actually to realize what he was doing, and then it was I kind of liked how it was the same thing as last episode, where in the end Kevin ended up doing what Jack would have done, and instead this time Randall did it. Yeah. And I loved how Randall and his dad went. So he was like, "I want to meet your dad."
That was really that was to me what started this episode being so emotional for me. Just having them.
Yeah, he was crying the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And he cried before me.
Because the show just the acting is so well done and the writing is so good that it just in a lot of shows that have emotional scenes like this, it's hard for me to buy into it as much. So when the show's as good as this, and I just feel the raw emotion from the actors and the characters, it's hard for me to not get emotional.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just who I am. I'm a naturally emotional person anyway. So, so for myself, I also really enjoyed seeing, again, going back to William's flashbacks, seeing him being this artist and writing the songs and playing with his cousin. And I feel like when they first introduced his cousin, I thought, I don't mean to make it sound like a stereotype, because I thought his cousin would have been the one that led him to his drug and alcohol abuse, or just his drug abuse, because they teased that, with his cousin, like smoking weed or whatever, but his cousin ended up being one of the most supportive people in his life, and, and even then, like, when William went to go see his cousin, in the present day, and at first he tries to kick him out, and they have that moment they just played like when they were younger. That was really emotional for me too. I really like that. The cousin, I just really liked the cousin, and you got Randall to meet his third cousin.
All
or
his
whatever
cousins. He was so,
yeah,
I
like,
loved
you
when
got
he
a
was
cousin.
drunk.
You got a cousin. And he called Beth.
It's like you're the chocolate topping to my ice cream or something like that.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
I just found this episode really, really just. Even though it sucks losing the William character in the present day, like it was a nice way of, tying a little bow to his story, and like finishing off in a really nice way, and honestly, I think this is one of the best episodes of the show.
Oh yeah.
For me personally. Like they're like so far like, like there hasn't been an episode of the show so far that I haven't like disliked, like each episode like it's a.
There's no boring episode. Even the filler episodes aren't boring.
Mm-hmm. And that's where I think, the show only being like 18 episodes a season, I think that's especially for like a primetime TV show, that's like just enough. Because sometimes shows that have like, like CW shows or some shows in general where they have like 22, 23.
Grace has 24.
Yeah, where it's like some episodes that are just going to be filler and they serve no purpose to the story and they're just kind of there just because they needed the episode count.
Yeah.
But This Is Us doesn't feel like they've had episodes like that. Like each episode is like important to the story of like the character's progression and where they're gonna go. So because ever since the episode ended, I'm curious how Randall's home life is gonna be now that William's gone.
Yeah, and there's a little in the preview for next week, like about the girls, and it seems like a celebration of life, but that's only like 5 seconds, so I'm sure it'll be really emotional. I want to find out other stuff too, like what happened when Kevin skipped the play.
Me too.
What are they going to do about that? And then obviously, for anybody that saw the preview, they hint like Jack's going to have something with the waitress that offers him a drink. Which pisses me off because either they're really going to piss me off and he's going to cheat, or they're doing the same thing I complained about with Kate.
Where they teased her cheating.
It's like
and
a cheap way of teasing you, and I don't like that.
But then they don't need to do that because the show is one of the highest rated shows on TV
that's
right
what
now.
bothers me about it. It's like if they were really hurting for ratings, okay, but they don't need to do that to draw an audience. Yeah, like they get like over 10 million episodes between DVR and live, and it's like I don't get it. I don't get why they do that. And I'm just because there's only we're at episode 16, right? Yep.
Yeah, so I'm just curious what they're gonna do because they only have 2 episodes left.
I know.
And like it feels like the season kind of like ending pretty quickly. Well, considering we didn't watch it or like from like beginning to end because we both binged it.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, and like I said in our last week's video, I think the show was kind of like it does benefit from the binge.
Yeah, I
because
agree.
everything ties together a lot better. And honestly,
today's episode tied together in itself.
Oh no, yeah,
that's
what
they called it a standalone episode going into it. I saw
it was, yeah. Like you didn't like. You can even watch this episode without watching any other episode.
And you still would have enjoyed it.
Yeah. You mean you might not have had the emotional impact that you would have had from watching all the other episodes and seeing their relationship develop from the pilot to where we are now. But even then, it was just a great episode.
There was a full story from start to finish.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah, it really was a great standalone episode because you got, William's beginning, his middle, and his end, and I just feel like a lot of shows can't really do that well.
Yeah, it was nice.
I really, really liked it. Were there some things that you maybe didn't like so much in this episode?
Just the Randall not really saying anything. That was the only thing that stood out to me. It was a really good episode. There wasn't much to be upset about.
Even though, the one thing, this isn't a bad thing, but when they go to William's old house to find the bridge.
I thought that was funny.
No, I know, because it's just like awkward because he wants to go find his treasure or whatever, and he finds there goes the brick chimney or whatever, and he pulls out a brick and in it are like his old toy and some quarters or something. And it's like, oh, okay, bye. And then he just leaves. And then Randall just hands the brick over to the couple that's living there. He's like, yeah, here's your brick.
I think it was meant to be comedic relief.
No,
because at that point we all knew it was coming.
Yeah.
So it was like, let's relax for a second.
And I knew that after the night of them William performing and Randall getting drunk, I knew as soon as Randall was like making the bed and stuff, I knew like from like that moment on that like that was gonna be Williams and I can't remember the actor's name off the top of my head, but the guy who plays William, he's done an amazing job to give you a character who was like, because you've had like the stereotypical, you know, like person of color who's like a drug addict or whatever, or a recovering drug addict, but this character became so much more than that because he was, you know, he gave up Randall for adoption, and then Randall, you know, sought him out in his adult life, and they were actually able to bond as father and son, and he was actually able to be a part of Randall's life and his kids and his wife. Huge part. Yeah. So even if it was for like 6-7 months, like he's gonna be part of the family. So that's where it's gonna be. It's gonna suck seeing that family dynamic without him there, because I felt like he was.
We never really saw it without him.
Yeah, there. Exactly. Because he like literally he's been there from the first episode. Yeah. So I'm just curious as to how that's gonna be moving forward, because like I feel like he was kind of like the beating heart of that house, you know. So I think with that being said, that's gonna be it from us. So what did you guys think of this episode? Obviously, we enjoyed it. And the show is taking. Yeah, we're so upset. The show is taking a 2-week break, I think, right? Yeah. Yeah, so it'll be back in a couple weeks. Yeah.
Or May.
Yeah, it's a little too far from now.
We'll be back in a few months.
Yeah. No, we'll be back with another review here in a couple weeks, guys. No, again, there's only 2 episodes left, so we're looking forward to what's going to be coming in the rest of the show. Thank you guys for watching, and sound your thoughts in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up, share it, let people know about the show, let people know about this review. Thank you guys to everyone who watched our last review and recap. That was really fun, and it was fun to be able to share that and be able to do that with my girlfriend, who I've wanted to bring to the channel for a long time. And it's nice to have a show that we can both do that too. It's not like I'm not making her watch this show or a superhero show or whatever.
I mean, I watch them willingly sometimes.
I'm just saying. I don't want to do it. All right. Well, yeah. With that, again, I think I'm done rambling. All right. Thank you guys for watching. And until next time, have a good one.